Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Mekti and this is Holy Vlogs. Alright, today's video is going to be a little bit different because I am going to talk about life as an international student in the Czech Republic. When everybody plans to study abroad as an international student, it's very exciting just because we're going to experience something different. And it's also another step into our lives. However, there are things that we need to know, or there are some life or experiences that we see as an international student, and I just want to go through some of the things that I have experienced as well as many other international friends experienced. So without further ado, let's go into the video. First thing is first, you would experience a very huge cultural difference unless you're from around the same area or have somewhat similar culture. For me, it was completely different because I am from Ethiopia, and which is a completely different culture than here. However, I already made my mind ready, and I think one thing that I would advise to anybody who wants to go abroad and study anywhere in the world is first make ourselves ready and have an open mind to learn and experience things. It doesn't mean that we have to accept or agree with everything. However, if we are living in that country, then we just gotta respect their culture and their boundaries. Another thing that you would experience as an international student is definitely language barriers, which could also be related to culture and how you can feel, how integrated you could be here, as well as how you can feel like you're at home. If you travel to a place where you don't have similar language, or you can't speak that native language of the country, then you're definitely going to have a challenge in that regards. I would suggest if you are intending to stay in the country that you're traveling to for a long time, then definitely try to learn a little bit of language, and then that way then you can feel at least a bit like home. Another experience you're going to definitely experience as an international student is the academic life. It's kind of different, at least for me. The education system was but completely different from what I was used to in my country, because I also studied a bit in China. It's also somewhat different from that, just because the education system or the academic system in the Czech Republic, or I would say in Europe in general, is more independent, right? You gotta do all the digging, you gotta do all the reading, you gotta do all basically learning it on your own. Like, they just guide you and then that's it. You just gotta do most of the things on your own. Moving in the Czech Republic for studying as an international student not only led me to travel around the Czech Republic, however, it also allowed me to go around different countries within the Schengen area. Basically, I could plan a weekend trip to different countries around the Czech Republic, something closer, just for a weekend trip. Another thing that you would experience as an international student in the Czech Republic, if so in other countries in Europe, I'm not really sure, I can't say, but here in the Czech Republic, is visa and paperwork. Yeah, there's a lot of process that you have to go through, lots of paperwork, and once you know the system, actually it's going to be okay. However, in the very first time, it could be exhausting, it could be a lot of paper, it could be a lot of processes and stuff, so it could be annoying. However, I would definitely recommend going into their websites and also check what some of the requirements are, and if there is anything that's not clear, definitely recommend to call, and also to call and ask for informations or some consultations, as well as there are so many Facebook groups you could join and ask for different advices, groups for expat students and so on. That way then you can ask any questions, and people are very friendly and are willing to respond to any of the questions that you have, just because they have experienced it as well. Another thing that I experienced as an international student in the Czech Republic is in regards to work, right? Work as an international student or as a student, you are permitted to work 20 hours a week. Here, I just wanted to point out, just because English is not the native language or the working language of the country, if you can't speak the working language, which is Czech, if you can't speak, then it could be difficult to get a professional jobs. However, there are different I would say blue collar, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but blue collar works. Another thing that I experienced as an international student in the Czech Republic in regards to personal growth and mental health is completely different, because I don't think I am this person without experiencing or passing through what I've passed through. It taught me to be humble, to be patient, and to also be hardworking. Just because I'm away from home, from my family, there's being homesickness. That is also a big thing, which could sometimes make you depressed and, you know, frustrated about every single thing. There are good days and there are bad days. If especially you don't go back home as often, then there's definitely going to be homesickness, just because you don't get the food that you're normally used to eat. You don't speak your native language if you don't have your country mates, but if you have your country mates, that would definitely help as well. Making connections, attending different events with your country mates is also a good thing. For me, personally, I think I've grown, and I definitely had a homesickness as well, but thanks to my friends, and also I met my husband here, so that made things easier and I became more social. But this doesn't mean there were bad days and stressful and depressful days, especially when the weather is horrible, because the weather again is also very different. This is also another thing that I had to experience. It wasn't my first time moving abroad, going away from my country. However, the weather is kind of different. Here in Europe, I would say, I wouldn't say most of the Europe, but some part of Europe is kind of the same. It's mostly very cold, especially in the winter time. It gets really cold most of the year, right? Most of the year, majority of the year is usually very cold and gray and dark. Oh no. It was absolutely depressing. Imagine it gets dark at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. That's insane. That is insane. And then there comes the summertime. Right after summertime comes, and then it gets dark at 9 o'clock. Are you kidding me? that is just how it is. And I have nothing against it. It's just mentally, just because I didn't grow up in that kind of environment, it's kind of depressing. It could be depressing, but the good thing is there are so many different events that you can attend and you know, pass that time. Christmas time is always bright, and Christmas markets, attending Christmas markets and so on. And then when the snow comes, then it's also amazing. Overall, I would like to say that I had a very fun and amazing experience as an international student in the Czech Republic. I saw myself, I learned a lot, I met a lot of amazing people, and I'm very grateful and very happy that I had to have this experience despite the challenges. And I believe that there are different challenges in every aspect of our lives, so it's just a matter of how we deal with it. So basically, those are things that you need to put under consideration. You travel outside of your country, you're obviously going to should be, I say it again, I would say it again in quotes, should be out of your comfort zone. So if you are ready to do that, then you're good to go. Please let me know if you have any other questions that you want to ask me in regards to this. But thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and don't forget to subscribe as well. But this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.